Hello, this is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist. You are here for how can you pray daily, yet dread the life that you live? And this is for Black women in toxic jobs. I heard this quote, or I'm paraphrasing the quote from a video that I recently saw. It was Wellness Wednesday with Evolving Spirit Wellness, Coach Yolanda and Marissa Price. It was a really, really good video. So I will put that video in the description section. But Coach Yolanda made this quote, and again, I might be paraphrasing it, but basically she was talking about many times we pray every day to live a long life and all these different things. Yet every day we are waking up dreading the life that we are living. And if you are working at a toxic job, that is probably your experience of dreading the life that you live. Now, it may be more so in terms of defined in terms of what's happening at the job, or the job is just draining you down, or it's just making you feel bad. So it may be mostly focused on that. However, when you are in a toxic job, it can cause this ripple effect. So it can cause you to dread waking up because you know you have to go right back into that toxic environment. It feels like Groundhog's Day, like every day it seems like the same. So that might be your experience. And when that happens, many times, once we get up the energy to even get ourselves ready to walk into that building. We are masking all day. We are masking and pretending like things are okay. And we're dying inside. We're miserable. We're crying inside, all those different things. Yet we mask to make it seem like we're okay and nothing is really bothering us. And, we're focused on doing our job. So masking has some benefits because we, and many times, know that we are under attack in toxic jobs. So we don't want to reveal ourselves and reveal how we're really feeling because those people or some of those people are trying to cause you harm. So you don't want to let them know how you're really feeling. And you may feel a sense of distrust of many people in the workplace. So again, when you think about the life that you are living, you're praying to live a long life, yet you are dreading the life that you're living. And I invite you, when this happens to you, to start evaluating what is causing me to dread the life that I'm living right now. And if you can say, it is that soul sucking experience is making me dread waking up, I want you to think about in what other ways is it impacting your life. So, on the one hand, the job is providing an income for you to pay your bills and to have a place to live and all those different things. So, outside of the job and what that's doing in terms of paying for those things, and what other ways is it impacting your life? So, is it adding to your life? Is it helping you live a fulfilled life? Or are you just living and working to pay bills? So, when you talk about living a long life, I want you to think about what is the quality of the life that you want to have? And also think about the role that stress can have on your life too. So the impact that stress can have in terms of not only the quality of your life, but how long you live and what does that look like in terms of different ailments and diseases and other types of things. I had a medical doctor on recently, and she was talking about the role that stress can have on us, and it's very damaging in terms of the impact that stress can have on our bodies. So again, thinking about, okay, I dread waking up, I'm masking all day at the job, and I want you to think about what happens once you leave the job. Are you just saying, okay, this is just a job I have, I know how to play the game, so all that stuff, I'm dealing with that stuff, but once I leave, I'm good? Or are you still taking all that toxicity from the job or some of that residue of the toxicity once you leave the job? So as you are driving out the parking lot, as you are driving home, are you still dealing with the residue of that toxicity? And if that is the case, again, I invite you to think about if this is the life that you want to live. Once you get home, are you still thinking about what happened that day at the job, what so and so did, or how somebody may have disrespected you, or how people might be trying to undermine you? Are you still thinking about that once you go home? Are you taking work home? Are you thinking about it as you're trying to fall asleep? Is it coming into your dreams, your nightmares? So again, are experiences at the job impacting the quality of your life to the point that you're starting to dread parts of your life? And the reason I want to talk about this too is we work a lot. So most of our days are spent at a job. So if you are not happy, you are being disrespected, you're being beat down at your job to the point where it's causing you to dread your life, then that's counter to the prayer that you have of living a long life, because the stress of the job can harm you and can undermine the ability to live a long life. And if you are able to live a long life, think about the impact that being in the stress can have on you in terms of your quality of life. So, are you stressing every day? Do you just feel defeated every day? So, again, when I'm talking to you, I want you to think about what I'm sharing and just reflect on what I'm saying, because these videos, my hope is that these videos provide an opportunity for you to reflect on your own life in the comfort of your own home or driving or wherever you might be, but in a safe space where you can honestly sit and listen to what I'm saying and self reflect. Because when you self reflect, you can't lie to yourself. You can't say, oh, it's not as bad as I really think it is. No, your soul will tell you if it is that bad. And I also invite you, once you sit with yourself and you're quiet with yourself and say, you know what, this job is contributing to me dreading my life. I invite you to also evaluate if this is the life that you want to live. Is this what you are committing to? If you are not committing to that, then the hope is that you're listening to these videos in the hopes that it's encouraging self-reflection, and that it's also encouraging you to start preparing yourself to leave. So leaving a toxic job is not easy. I'm saying this as a toxic job survivor. Also, as a clinical psychologist who works with Black women in terms of therapy and coaching, that I know it's not an easy process to leave a job. There's a lot of fear that you need to work through many times. So when I talk about this, I envision that these videos are helping you process things, help you start exit planning, and to help you get the courage to eventually leave. So when you think about leaving, even the thought of it can spark a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. And as you think about that, and if it does spark that sense of fear, just think about, is the fear keeping you stuck? Or is the fear motivating you more to get out? So sometimes we can get stuck not only about the fear, but the anger about what may be happening to us in the workplace. And so I invite you, and I want to give you a tip on that too. So when we experience anger in the workplace, we know as Black women that we are sent the message, and we know that we cannot express anger in a certain way in the workplace, because then we are perceived as the angry Black woman and there are negative consequences. So we are very, very mindful many times of how we present in the workplace. Many times we are constantly self assessing to see, okay, how did I say that? How did I write that in an email? So we are self assessing ourselves. And when we experience anger, a lot of times we cannot express it. Like I said, the angry Black woman. And so what may happen is several things. One might be that we ingest that feeling, right? So we don't allow ourselves to express the anger because of the consequences. But then once we leave the workplace, once we're on our way home, we may start getting into this thing of beating ourselves up for allowing people to treat us that way or talk to us in that way. And so we might start internalizing that anger, and that might turn into depression or sadness. So when we think about anger, this is the tip. When we think about anger, I invite you to allow yourself to feel the anger in a safe place, in the comfort of your home or somewhere else is safe. So I invite you to do that so that you can connect to the anger that you're experiencing. The other thing I invite you to do is to think about ways that you can channel that anger because we want to get that anger out. We don't want you to just sit and fester in the anger because that's not healthy for you too. So, in what ways can you channel that anger to something that's bigger and better for you? So, you can channel your anger in terms of exit planning. So, exit planning kind of like it puts a all that anger, you'll use that as the fuel for you to light you up to get out of there. So use that as the motivation for you to start exploring what your other options are because you do have choices. So think about maybe starting with, okay, what are the skills that I have at this job that I can transfer somewhere else? I can use these skills or build upon these skills at another job. Think about that, and or another business or some business I might have. So I invite you to think about that. I invite you to use that fuel. So again, as you're rechanneling that anger, to start networking with people about what are the things that you want to do, asking people about the jobs that they have. Do they like those jobs? Do they know about other openings? So start being open-minded about these things. But again, it's important to channel your anger to productive action. And so that productive action can lead you to something that's much bigger and much better than your toxic job because you deserve better. So know that you deserve better and that none of us deserves in any way to live a life that we dread. We have gone through too much. You have gone through too much. What you have gone through to even get that job, too much for you to dread any part of your life. And so if you're dreading any part of your life, I invite you to pivot. Okay. And I know that I pivoted in my life, and it got to the point, and I've done videos about this, about how ridiculous things were for me at that toxic job before I resigned. So ridiculous that I knew I couldn't stay. There were so many things that kind of built up to me saying I can't stay. But ultimately, I knew that I love God, I love myself, I love my family too much to dread any part of my life. I have a beautiful life. I hope that you have a beautiful life. And if you don't have a beautiful life, what do you need to do to create that for yourself? Do not allow a job to continue to rob you of your joy, to rob you of your future, to rob you of anything. Do not allow the job to do that. Do not allow the job to be all consuming so that you have no life outside of the job. You only talk about your job or your job title or things like that. Let us shift away from that because now you are focusing your sense of validation, your sense of worth on a job, and that is dangerous because when we do that, then we are allowing or waiting for other people to validate our existence and validate our worth. And many times they won't do that. They won't. It will be just the opposite. So again, I invite you to reflect on your life as you're watching these videos, to reflect on your life. You can watch this video and the other videos that I've done. So as you are doing that, be honest with yourself and sit with yourself and ask yourself, is this the life that I want to live? And if it's not, then I invite you to access the resources that I have for you in the description section. In my videos, I try to make sure that I include resources because I want to help you out and I want you to live a better life. If you are dreading any part of your life, that is not a life that I can imagine that you want to have. So I want something better for you. I want something better for you. So as you're watching this video, please give this video a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know to suggest this video to other Black women because I'm ushering in a movement proudly. I am ushering in a movement for Black women to leave and heal from toxic jobs because we deserve so much better. We've worked too hard to get where we are. We love ourselves too much. We have too much talent to be stuck in a toxic job that is just sucking the soul out of our bodies. So, as I'm sharing this with you, I invite you to also share this information with another Black woman because chances are, if you know another Black woman, she is either in a toxic job or she's come out of a toxic job, more than likely. So, in my work that I do, again, my business is Lifting as We Climb Consulting Wellness Services. So, I'm lifting for you and I'm lifting for as many Black women as I can to leave and heal from toxic jobs. I'm inviting you, in addition to taking those steps to healing yourself, to also help support the healing of another Black woman or women. So you can share this video with them, you can share resources with them, but please help other sisters out as you are also moving forward and healing. Because I don't want you and I don't want any of our sisters to dread the life that they are living. Okay. Okay. So I'm signing off. And again, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Lifting as We Climb Consulting Wellness Services. And also share this video with other Black women. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.